Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is David Feldman-Makrias here, and today what we're going to talk about is how to quickly and easily compare a lot of different Shopify themes all at once. Seriously, this process that I've laid out and stumbled through shouldn't take you very long, maybe 10, 15 minutes to construct using the template I'll provide. Plus, you can compare as many Shopify themes as you want. It's pretty easy. Shopify actually gives a lot of the feature information in their template. I'm going to show you where to go, and that way we can see exactly how to not only compare, but which theme is going to be the most ideal, right? Which theme is going to be the most ideal for your specific application? That's the entire idea. So, without further ado, let's just dive right in. So, how can we quickly compare Shopify themes? I was looking online, and there's no real good way, at least that I found within the brief research I did, there was no real good way to compare all the features of the different themes. And how I led to this question is because I'm trying to build out an application for a specific client, and we are going to use Shopify as it is a premium e-commerce website, CMS out there right now, currently. And what I was doing is, we compile all these different themes based on reviews and based on other things as well. But what I found was I couldn't really tell the difference between the themes, at least aesthetically. Like you can go and visualize a theme like here, like we can go to this demo store, and this demo store is great. But like if I look up another Shopify theme, if I look this up here and I go to view demo store, obviously the color and the layout and the typography and images are different. But like, how do I know what else is different? I'm looking for the actual features and functions and benefits of the theme itself. Like, okay, on this one, I hover over shop by category and I have these different layouts, but then I have images here. Okay. And then if I go to this one, I have shop, I hover over shop the same way. I have images, but they're all laid out a little bit differently. Is this a different feature within Shopify? Do I need a different theme in order to get different functionality to host my navigation or to make small changes? Or are there certain features included with the theme that I would have had to pay an app monthly that I wouldn't have to pay? So I knew that there was still more digging to uncover. And basically, when we go and look up Shopify themes, if we go here, see all features, there is this great section which breaks it into a couple different sections. First, we have this theme is great for, then we have cart and checkout, then we have marketing and conversion, then we have merchandising, then we have product discovery. And it comes with all these different functionalities, which is nice. It gives you an actual list of what's included from a feature standpoint. And then when we go and compare, right, I can see this theme now. It's got all the same stuff in all the same format. Problem is, trying to be able to compare theme versus theme can be a little bit tricky. So we're gonna utilize the helpfulness of Excel or any sort of spreadsheet technology. I prefer Excel. So let me show you exactly what I do in order to compare multiple themes at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to use this impulse theme as an example. I'm going to go to the see all features, which is just scrolling down. You can also visit this learn more about sections and blocks, which I think is good. But let me just show you this. When I go here and I copy this information, I'm going to take this information and then I am going to copy it into a spreadsheet. Okay, let's try this again. I actually I recorded the entire video, but I was sharing the wrong part of my screen. So now let's actually share the right part of my screen. So as you can see, here is our featured list. I am again in Impulse. So what I'm going to do is drag this. Well, first I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to put it in the actual spreadsheet. So literally, I'm just going to copy it just like this. I start from the bottom, I select everything, and then do some Excel spreadsheet trickery. Then here's my Excel spreadsheet, right? I'm gonna get these worksheets, and I'm gonna show you this in just a minute. So now I'm just gonna copy and paste that directly in, and luckily it formats nicely. So I can double click this column here, and I have all of my headings and subheadings in here already. So it's great. And then this is for the impulse theme. Now, what I'll do is I'll do this for whatever different themes I'm comparing. I usually come in here, insert, and say, okay, this is for impulse, right? This is the impulse theme. And I just don't like how, this is formatted, because usually your header row should be your, biggest, and that way it makes more sense to see. I like formatting and making sure things are organized correctly. So I'm not going to do that in this one. I know you guys can do that here. I am actually going to go to step 1, where I have everything formatted already, to show you some of the differences about how I organize and construct this analysis. So let's go to step 1. And again, if you're looking for this document, it should be in the description of this video. You can download it. You can customize it however you'd like. And that way you have some sort of guide in order to establish the analysis that you would like. So here we go. We have focal, boost, and impulse. That is the 3 that we're looking at now. Now, what I did was I took an analysis of certain, I'm going to call them categories, okay? I'm calling them marketing and conversion, merchandising, carts and checkout. This theme is great for. Those are categories, feature categories, right? Now, these ones here, this theme is great for, like your description and then your cart and checkout category, I found to be pretty similar amongst the 3 themes itself. So I'm going to leave those out of the comparison. You can always include them if you'd like. I'm going to leave them out for my comparison now. Again, you can do what you like. Mouse is getting out of control. You're having a fun time, mouse, aren't you? Okay, so now, as I scroll down, one thing I like to do too is just a quick tip. I love formatting things in Excel, so I like to freeze my top row so I can see as I scroll kind of what I'm looking at. So notice that I have all the lists here: marketing and conversion, merchandising, and product discovery. And then I have all the features that fall under that category. So what I've done is, instead of having one column like I did in the first sheet, right? Instead of having one column, I put in 2 additional columns. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm setting it up for a pivot table comparison. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail about how to use pivot tables in this tutorial. I'm going to show you exactly how I use it for this specific application. There's plenty of other resources out there for how to use a pivot table, how to make a pivot table, how to analyze data through a pivot table. But I'm just going to show you the Shopify analysis because I think it makes the most sense to this application. So I give it 2 additional, I'm going to call them column headers, if you will: feature, theme, and category. Our feature list is already in column A. Now our theme, I had to actually add these 2 columns in here, and you can easily do that by inserting new columns, right? So I had to add theme in here, and I had to add category. So what I did was I assigned, I'm going to call it assigned, call it assigning. I assigned the focal theme to all of these categories because these are all the categories that are in the focal theme. Then what I did is I broke out the specific category, went a little bit deeper for my comparison, and said, okay, I want to know, out of all of these categories, I am assigning each one under the marketing and conversion section because they all fall under this marketing and conversion. Then I'm going to do the same thing with merchandising. Every single feature under the merchandising tab for this theme is going to get assigned the merchandising, I guess we can call it a tag or a category for this specific theme and feature. Then I'm going to do the same thing with product discovery. And notice how all of these product discovery actually line up with all of the product discovery features along with everything inside a focal theme. So you could think of these three columns here. If I had to organize a little bit better, this is like a section, right? This is all has to do with focal. The one thing here, I left marketing and conversion, merchandising, and product discovery. I left these three rows or cells, I should say, in here because I wanted to use them to organize everything. When I compile and consolidate in step 2, I'm going to lose this cell, and this cell. Really, I'm going to lose these three. I don't need them. I don't need these three. They were just for me to help organize and assigning all of the features and function, or all of the features with the correct theme and category listed out. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that for all three themes. And the reason we have to do it this way is because this is what helps pivot tables be set up correctly. Here's why. Here's your blog section, right? That is within the focal theme, and it's under the marketing and conversion section. Well, guess what? The boost theme also has a blog section. Here's the theme boost. Here's blogs as the feature, and it's also under the marketing and conversion. Okay, so there's some overlap between the themes. Well, I want to see the difference too where there's not overlap. So here's another example. Cross-selling. Cross-selling is a feature in the focal theme under the marketing and conversion category, whereas cross-selling is not a feature on the boost theme. Those are the items we need to see and analyze to decide, okay, which feature makes the most sense for us and how can we look at everything in one view. And then, then you can really speed up and analyze your data. So that's the whole point of what we're doing and why we're making this extra 2 columns. Finally, what you do is, and I'm sure you can write formulas to do all this stuff, but finally what you can do is step 2, you can consolidate everything. So now I have my feature, theme, and category, very similar to step 1. Feature, theme, and category. I forgot to write feature here. That's feature here too. And this is also feature, theme, and category. Did I spell that right? Yeah, barely. Spelling is iffy when I'm on the fly. Spelling is iffy. Okay, so with that, it's like you can only see my little head under here. Hi. Okay, enough horsing around. So with that, what you can do now is you can literally copy all this information and put it in your, I'm going to call it the consolidated sheet. So I'm going to take all the features under focal, marketing and conversion, and I'm going to copy them and put them here. So this was the example, right? This is literally the same 3 columns, all of the same information that I just highlighted here. And you have to compile them, right? You have to compile them all into one set to set up your pivot table. So I did this. I did all the features under the focal theme, the marketing and conversion. Then I did all the features under the focal theme with the merchandising category. And then I did all the features under the focal theme with the product discovery category. Then I get down to the boost theme. I do the boost, marketing and conversion, all the features, all the features, boost, and merchandising. All the features, boost, product discovery. And I keep doing this for all the themes I want to compare. In this instance, I'm comparing 3. Okay. So now I have all the information. Now what I'm going to do is actually create a pivot table. So pivot tables are pretty easy. You don't have to be alarmed. It's not very scary. I was a little scared the first couple times I made a pivot table, but now that I gave you this template, again, it should be pretty simple for you to compare. As long as you can navigate Excel very basically, you're going to select this little triangle here, which is going to select all of your cells. Then you're going to go to Insert, you're going to go to Pivot Table, and then you're going to select Table or Range. So in my version of Excel, it actually selects everything all at once that has data in it. So that's already selected. That's part of the reason why I like hitting that little corner. I call it the right triangle because it's going to select everything I want anyways. Then choose where to place the pivot table. I always like new worksheet because it just makes sense to me. You could put it in an existing worksheet, but I think it makes it more cumbersome, more complicated. That's more advanced. So let's do a new worksheet. Awesome. So it created a new worksheet, sheet 3. It really should be here, but it puts it in front, whatever. Okay, so then I go to pivot table, and now I have my 3 pivot table fields: feature, theme, category. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, well, first I'm going to shift my computer so I have room. Then I am going to select feature, theme, and category in my checkbox. But notice that my layout is not something that I don't even really know what's count of feature, what's count of category. Well, pivot table uses information and counts different values and organizes it in a very specific way so you can see specifics about your information. Super useful tool, super useful in all sorts of data analytics to convert spreadsheets to easy reports. So, but what I'm going to do in our situation is I'm going to take our feature and I'm going to put that in the row because those are the items we want to see. Um, I just think the setting up your row, like whatever is going to be your input that is really long or you have a lot of, I recommend rows, not columns. The thing you want to compare that doesn't have a lot of inputs, or maybe there's like 3 categories or 4 or 5 or whatever categories, that you put as your columns. So I'm going to take our theme and drag it and drop it into our columns. Then I'm going to leave category here and I'm going to keep that as the value. So it's actually counting the number of times that data set appears within the cross section of the row and the column. So as an example, the amount of times the age verifier feature appears in the cross section of the row and column is 1 time in the impulse theme. So what does that mean? That means, to our purposes, age verifier is only in the impulse theme. Interesting. Okay, let's spot check ourselves. If I come back to my original data set, I'm looking at impulse, and then I'm going to look age verifier. That's here. Okay, let's look at the focal theme. Scroll down, age verifier. Nope, age verifier is in this other theme, but it's not in this our section that we took. So now we can presume our pivot table is actually set up correctly. Let me zoom in a little bit on here so you guys can see. So the first thing I'll do is set up my pivot table just so I can see it a little bit better. Freeze panes on this section. So now when I scroll, I can actually see the different themes and begin my analysis. And then we don't really need this blank and grand total column. So what I do is I just black it out so that I don't have to be, bewildered by the numbers. So now we have something. And as we scroll all the way down, this is a grand total section. So now we can see the impulse theme. The impulse theme has 43 total features. The focal theme has 40 features, and the boost theme has 35. So right off the bat, we could say, hey, the impulse theme actually has the most amount of features. And if the pricing is relatively comparable within the different feature set and feature list amongst the 3 themes, then impulse already has an advantage in my analysis. So then what I'll do is I'm going to go through one by one to see if I actually need this. I actually need this specific feature. Again, features are these rows here. So right off the bat, here's a quick tip too for feature analysis. Right off the bat, like there are some features that are more intuitively understandable, like blogs. Okay, I can presume what a blog is. It's some sort of blog section or specific blog portal on the website that behaves a little bit differently than normal site functions. So I definitely need that in my application. It's actually across all 3, so that's a win there. But there's other things like, uh, you know, I can understand what a countdown timer is too. Like a countdown timer, okay, that's going to be some sort of urgency countdown timer, either on a product page or somewhere on the main homepage that I can utilize. Okay, maybe I need that. Um, maybe I'll put that in a different color. I'll put that in yellow, right? I like green is what I need. Yellow, I still have a question. Maybe something I don't really need. What's something I'm not doing anything out of the country? So this EU translations, I definitely don't need this one. So I'm going to highlight this one red, and I just keep going down until I actually analyze everything and figure out which theme adds up for the most of what I need. And therefore, you let the numbers do the talking and you know exactly which theme you have to pick. Now, a couple things. When you're trying to figure out which feature makes sense, here's a pro tip. Like, let's say we wanted to look up color swatches as an example. Like, okay, I don't intuitively know what color swatches is. I don't. Shame on me. E-commerce community. I don't. Well, I do. I do now. But I'm going to explain to you if you didn't. Okay, so what I did is I just did a quick Google search in this format: color swatches Shopify feature. And usually on the first page, first so many results, you're going to find some information. So here's this rich result from safeasmilk.co. Click on the product page section on the left of the editor. Once the section is open, look for the product variant style, color swatches, and buttons. Okay, if I zoom in on this, okay, these little color wheels. I've seen that on sites. Okay, maybe usually an app will be provided. Okay, here's an actual Shopify App Store app. And maybe in the pictures I can find something. Okay, perfect. So here's an actual product. Here's your different color swatches. Now I know what a color swatch is. And I can determine if that's right for my application. The specific one I was doing research for, it doesn't, because not all the products come in different colors and different variants this way. And this is really for colors. Variants you can include, but color specifically, that's what color swatches is for. That really doesn't make a difference in my application. So that's why when I go back to my spreadsheet, I'm going to go to color swatches. I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to hit red. So I keep on going through this information. I keep on highlighting what I need, what I don't need. And then eventually you figure out which theme has the most amount of green or is the winner for all your functions. And then that's how you determine which theme you should have based on the features. You can also differentiate this between the different categories. If you want to do a category analysis, well, they all have the same categories, but you can, instead of comparing by theme and feature, you can do by category and feature if you wanted to. Doesn't make sense for our analysis now, but something if you want. So my step 3 pivot table is pretty much the same thing here. I have everything put in, and I actually have a color code here. I put green is need, red is don't need, yellow is maybe, I'm not sure yet, I need more input from other team members, and then this kind of orange pinky color, I don't know what color that is, that is I already have, so I don't really need to consider it. So I already have it for another plugin or another application or whatever. One thing to note too, sometimes, you'll see all these ones everywhere. One is where it has it. If it's blank, the theme doesn't have it, right? So again, to go back here, the impulse theme is the only one that has the age verifier with the boost and focal don't. I did notice one peculiar item that these have 2, which is interesting. Why would they have 2? Well, that means that it's counted twice for that theme. So let's verify. If we go back to our impulse theme, and that was recently viewed. So I'm going to Command F, recently viewed. I see it here once under marketing and conversion, but I see it again in product discovery, recently viewed, second. So this actually works out. That's why these couple features have 2. Again, I don't know what the exact difference is. You'll have to do some searching there. But yeah. So guys, hopefully this helps you. Again, you can use this spreadsheet as a template to help analyze your own, even if you're not very familiar with pivot tables and all that good stuff. I think this will be really, really useful. You can compare a lot of different Shopify features in a small amount of time using this analysis. Just take some maneuvering on Excel and some simple going through all of the what, David? All of the features. Yeah, the features, those things, the things we're looking at. The things we're looking at. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If this provided any value or any insight to you in any way, please give me a like. Please, if you'd like any of this content that I put on the channel, I keep posting content about digital marketing and just mindset growth and how to realistically grow your freelance entrepreneur digital agency world. So that's what I'll be doing. Feel free to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. This was David Feldman-Makrias. Take care.